Minor injury.
Oh, he got hit by a car.
Hit by a car.
He's okay. He's all right. We'll talk about
Well,
that.
that's why it's funny. It wouldn't be funny if it
That's
wasn't
my wife's son.
Ooh, we'll talk some Tom Brady in a second, but first, you see this? Sox-Yankees, Jackie Bradley Jr. covering a whole hell of a lot of ground to make this running catch.
Tremendous 4 days there in Red Sox land. Yeah. Jackie Bradley, he's one of the best in the business. Covers a lot of ground, Nick. Tremendous defensive outfielder.
Yanks did avoid the sweep there. Good for them. More baseball. Detroit, Seattle.
This was unbelievable.
J.T. Crawford, an amazing stop, makes an incredible off-balance throw.
How's he throw it?
Well, this is the thing. He's already got the scouting report. He knows he's got a runner. So he knows he don't have much time. Once he gloves it, watch how quick he gets it over there.
I mean, he's falling backwards. That is
amazing.
Spectacular, that play. That might be, honest to God, the play of the year so far. He's falling backwards, nails him, got a guy flying. Oh, my.
Dior Johnson between the legs before throwing the alley-oop to Devontae Cobbs. The dunk gets a LeBron reaction.
Don't get teed up, man. Running out on the court, losing his sneaker.
It's almost embarrassing.
Tournament out in Vegas, I believe. This is a hell of a play by the
My thing is, the only thing I don't like is, LeBron, you too old to be wearing mismatched shoes. Oh, the shoe fell off.
It fell off.
It looked like he had a purple.
LeBron's son, Bronny, playing.
Man.
So, you know, LeBron has to join the layup line, showing off a little. Of course he does.
That heads up over the rim,
Whatever, Dad. So embarrassing.
Little soon-to-be 35-year-old LeBron reminding folks, all these folks saying, is he even a top 5
I just know at that age, there used to be some cute young girls that I used to be trying to impress at the gym. 14, 15, very impressionable age.
And what happens when your dad's
I need you in the car. Not in the gym. I need you in the car.
Moving on to the Patriots now. They're coming off Bill Belichick and Tom Brady's 6th Super Bowl win. And while this team seemingly feeds off of the concept of next man up, they may be running out of men this year. New left tackle, no Rob Gronkowski, and Brady entering the season at age 42. Brady says this year presents a unique challenge.
Yeah, it's always challenging when you have significant turnover. And I think I always say it's like climbing a mountain, you know, and every time you climb the mountain, the next year you start right at the bottom, right with everyone else. And you have a new group of people, you have a new group of climbers. You got different tools you can use. And everyone starts at the same place. And you just gotta, there's no way to do it other than just start working your way up. And, you know, that's what we're doing now. You can't get to the top in 2 days. It's going to take a long, it's a long year. It's a long grind. And everyone's going to, the guys who make the team, they'll have earned it. They'll put us in our best position to be the best team we could be.
All right, CC, Tom Brady's got a lot of things working, you'd say, against him. The roster, you got age, but of everything out there, what's the biggest challenge you think he's facing this season?
I think to try to keep everything fresh in his mind, that as if he didn't learn it. When you've been to 19 training camps, when you've been with Bill Belichick, you've heard every pregame speech, you've heard all the prep. It's hard to keep that fresh in your mind. You're talking about the turnover because people need to see Tom Brady reacting the way he would have reacted when he was younger because they're not used to being around the Patriots. So I could see the challenge of Tom saying, hey, it's like climbing up this mountain. But it's the same mountain. And when you get to certain junctures, it's boring. How do I make that exciting? How can I make it exciting for the guys around me that they aren't looking at me saying, you know something, Tom's not like he used to be. So it's always a challenge to play football at a high level. And as you get older, like what's going to motivate him? He's already the greatest quarterback that's ever played. He's one of the greatest football players that's ever played. So trying to find motivation every single day, it's difficult. You have to lie to yourself. You have to try to create concepts. You have to listen to people like us, more so Nick, because Tom knows I'm a TB12 guy. And you have to get these little clips that motivates you on a daily basis to make sure that you stay fresh, to make sure that you don't get bored. You saw him and Belichick going at it a little bit this weekend, a little simple drill. But those are the types of things that keep you right on the edge, keep you right on your game, and keep you because if I've been to this juncture of the mountain 20 straight times, how can I have the same enthusiasm for someone who's never been up here? But how do I trick him into believing? Man, I'm watching all this film. I'm reading all these coverages. I'm reading all these fronts. And that is hard to impossible to do. As you get older, It's not the games. It's the meetings and the practices you get tired of. You get tired of hearing the same stuff. Oh, they're in a 4-3 cover 2. Well, what else are they going to be in that front? So somehow you have to play a trick on your mind to keep everything fresh so that every day that you can be on this long adventure with your teammates. And some days, oh, you're not halfway up the mountain. Oh, you're not 3/4 way up the mountain. And you're going every step along with them. It is a struggle even for the greatest of them.
I hate to put it right back to you, but I want to follow up on that, and it's something that I can't answer. So how do you think he does it? As a guy that played 16 years, this is Brady's 20th, how do you think he stays motivated? We know what motivates a lot of guys late. They are trying to get that first championship. They are trying to squeeze out every last dollar. Brady's got all the championships, all the money, already has passed Montana and Elway and whomever else was on the list. So how do you think he stays motivated when you're saying that's the biggest struggle?
I think there's a couple things. I think Tom wants to play until he's 45. I think that Tom wants to be beyond it's Bill Belichick getting all the credit. I think Tom, there's people with 6 rings. All right, Tom wants to have more rings than anybody. Forget quarterbacks, forget about all that. Tom wants to have 7, 8 championship rings. I believe those types of things, and I believe because early in his career he wasn't an accomplished passer, now, later in his career, he really gets a thrill out of, you know something? I got more velocity on the ball now than I did 15 years ago. So those things right there, I think, keep Tom Brady focused on what he's trying to accomplish.
Earlier this week, Nick, you and I had a conversation in the morning meeting, and you said, oh, that's right, I forgot. Because I brought up the football almanac. And you said, I have to read that again. And I thought to myself, I don't know, besides maybe you, Chris, anyone that knows more about football than you, Nick, but you wanted to do it. You actually enjoy doing that. You like getting better, even though for the most part you know the information, but the numbers change.
Yeah, but I got a lot still to prove.
Okay, but I think there's a part of him that enjoys it. I think that the part of him that actually really loves doing this, doesn't want to do anything else, and all of that is sort of built into what he does every day. It's less of a grind, and it's more of, well, I feed off of this because I know that's what makes me better.
Well, I believe, and I wholeheartedly believe that there's nothing Tom Brady loves more in the world than those 16 to 20 Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, those 16 to 20 games a year. And we hear that from older athletes all the time. I'd play for free, you got to pay me to practice. What Chris is talking about is this part of the year that nobody enjoys, particularly a guy like Brady that is probably, of everyone on the team, getting the least out of it. He might be getting the same out of the actual reps in practice, but the least out of the meetings, the least out of the instruction, because he has been there almost as long as Belichick, and he's been there through multiple systems, through all these different teammates. And so the reason I wanted to focus on it is because that, as much as anything, is part of his legacy of unquestioned greatness, is that he finds a new motivation, that he finds a new mountain to climb, even if it is the same damn mountain, because he's had nothing left to prove for 5 years. And he just keeps finding a new reason to show up as motivated to decide during that drill. See, you know what? I'm annoyed that the defense isn't respecting the play action because they know it's a pass. I'm going to call a run just because I can. Like, I find that fascinating.
Let me tell you something. Tom Brady hates training camp. I went to play 16 years, went to 14 training camp. Training camp sucks. It sucks. It hurts. It's something that you understand I must do on the way to this. So Tom Brady's playing a trick on his mind like any person that does something for a long time. He makes it more important every single day. But when Tom Brady's running out there to the field, there's a certain amount of kid-like joy, but there's just a certain amount of professionalism that takes over. I must do this. This is a huge part of being a great player, and he's mastered that. The greatest master the ugly parts of their profession, and it becomes just something else that they must do. But there's no way Tom Brady enjoys training camp. That's just a flat-out lie. It's impossible.
I think, to your point, I think Michael Strahan once said, if it wasn't for training camp, if we could just skip it, I probably would have played an extra couple seasons. I'm sure a lot of guys playing a long time would say the same thing. All right, let's take a break. Coming up, could Ezekiel Elliott's holdout drag into the regular season? That's next on First Things First.